Once upon a time, there was an empire so vast, so powerful, so magnificently organized, that for 600 years it made the entire world tremble. It stretched from the deserts of North Africa to the forests of Eastern Europe, from the shores of the Persian Gulf to the gates of Vienna. At its peak, it ruled over 30 million people across 3 continents. And at the very heart of this empire stood one city. A city of gold, a city of power, a city of secrets. Its name was Constantinople, and the world would later know it as Istanbul. A 21-year-old sultan sat in his tent outside the great walls of Constantinople and made a decision that would change the course of human history forever. His name was Mehmed II, and history would call him Mehmed the Conqueror. Constantinople had stood for over 1,000 years. Its massive walls, built by Emperor Theodosius in 413 AD, had never been breached. Dozens of armies had tried. Dozens had failed. The city seemed truly unconquerable, protected by water on 3 sides and walls so thick, so perfectly engineered that no weapon of the time could break them. But Mehmed had something no one had ever used before. Something that would make those ancient walls completely useless. He had cannons. Enormous, terrifying, world-shattering cannons designed by a Hungarian engineer named Urban that fired stone balls weighing over 500 kilograms. When those cannons fired for the first time, the sound was heard 40 miles away. The ground shook. Birds fled from trees for miles around, and soldiers on both sides stood in stunned silence, because no one had ever heard anything like it before. For 53 days, Mehmed bombarded the walls of Constantinople, day after day, night after night. The defenders repaired the walls every night. The cannons destroyed them again every morning. And then, on the 29th of May, 1453, the walls finally broke. Ottoman soldiers poured through the gaps. The last Byzantine emperor, Constantine XI, tore off his royal insignia and charged into battle on foot, dying like a common soldier, defending his city to his last breath. By sunrise, Constantinople had fallen, and the Ottoman Empire had its crown jewel. Mehmed rode into the city and went directly to the Hagia Sophia. He picked up a handful of earth and poured it over his own head, an act of humility before God. Then he walked inside and ordered it converted into a mosque. A new era had begun. Under Ottoman rule, Istanbul became the most magnificent city on earth. Suleiman the Magnificent, who ruled from 1520 to 1566, transformed Istanbul into a city of breathtaking beauty. He commissioned the great architect Mimar Sinan to build mosques, bridges, schools, and hospitals across the empire. Sinan, who some historians call the greatest architect who ever lived, built over 300 structures during his lifetime. His masterpiece, the Suleymaniye Mosque, still stands today exactly as he built it nearly 500 years ago. The Grand Bazaar, built in 1461, just 8 years after the conquest, became the commercial heart of the world. Merchants from Venice, Persia, India, and China all came to Istanbul to trade. Silk, spices, jewels, carpets, weapons, medicines, everything the world produced passed through the Grand Bazaar. At its peak, over 30,000 people worked and traded within its covered streets every single day. Topkapi Palace, the nerve center of the entire empire, spread across 700,000 square meters overlooking the Bosphorus. Inside its walls lived the Sultan, his family, his advisors, his soldiers, and thousands of servants. Every decision that affected 30 million people across 3 continents was made within these walls. Letters were sent from here to governors in Egypt, Algeria, Hungary, and Iraq, all obeying the commands of one man sitting in one palace in one city. Istanbul was not just a capital, it was the center of the entire known world. But empires do not last forever. By the 1800s, the Ottoman Empire was crumbling. European powers, Britain, France, Russia, Austria, were chipping away at its borders year after year. Territories that had been Ottoman for centuries were being lost one by one. Greece broke free, Serbia broke free, Bulgaria broke free, Egypt slipped away. The empire that had once made Europe tremble was now being called the sick man of Europe. World War I delivered the final blow. The Ottomans chose the losing side. By 1918, the empire was finished. Foreign armies occupied Istanbul. The Sultan sat powerless in his palace while British and French soldiers patrolled the streets of the city that had once been the center of the world. And then, from the ashes, rose one man, Mustafa Kemal, a soldier, a general, a visionary, and in 1923 declared the birth of a new nation, the Republic of Turkey. The Sultanate was abolished, the Caliphate was ended. 600 years of Ottoman rule came to a close. Istanbul, once the capital of an empire, became just another city in the new republic. The new capital was Ankara. But Istanbul could never truly be just another city. The Ottoman Empire is gone. Its sultans are buried. Its armies have dissolved into history. Its borders exist now only in old maps gathering dust in forgotten archives. But Istanbul remains. Walk through its streets today, and you walk through 600 years of glory. The mosques still stand. The bazaars still echo with 1,000 voices. The Bosphorus still carries ships between two continents. And somewhere in the stones of this ancient city, the heartbeat of the greatest empire the Eastern world ever produced still quietly pulses. History forgot many empires, but no one